What's up, everybody? Today I'm going to try to do a video on playing pocket pairs, over pairs, middle pairs, under pairs to the board, and how we proceed based on different flop textures. I'll be pausing the video between hands when I don't have pairs, but we'll start off here with pocket sixes on table 4. We're playing 25 cent, 50 cent, which should be about the equivalency of playing 2-5 no limit in a casino. We're playing all 9-handed tables to mimic how we play in the casino. And versus a 4x open, we're going to go ahead and just call with sixes. This would be equal to like a $20 open in a 2 and 5 game. So we'll pretty much just be multiplying everything by 10. Uh, this table here where my mouse is now will be table 1, table 2 with the queen 9, table 3 bottom left, and table 4 bottom right. On a 10 deuce deuce flop with sixes, I think we're always going to call one time, see how he proceeds on the turn. I'm pretty much just trying to get my hand to showdown here. I could bet to deny some kind of equity, but I think checking back is also fine, and just looking to get to showdown with this hand. And very happy to check it down. I'm going to assume that we're going to win a whole lot of the time. I think that he's just going to have a lot of like ace high hands, king high hands that he gave up on. But yeah, we're just going to check and just assume to win a whole lot. I will go ahead and pause the video, and we'll be back the next time we have a pocket pair. On table 2, we have pocket 9s in the big blind. This guy is very, very loose and crazy, so we're going to just think of this as our target here. Mart. No need to 3-bet. We're definitely fine seeing a flop with him. I'm not looking to get it all in pre-flop or anything like that. Nothing crazy along those lines. So let's just call, take a flop, and proceed from there. Always going to be more or less checking to the pre-flop aggressor. And not loving this spot as of now, but definitely can't fold. And I have some history with this player. This is the reason we have a $72 stack, is he kind of won some chips from me earlier, then I won some chips back from him, but he is extremely aggressive and just kind of bombs away. So I'm probably just going to have to seatbelt on and call him down until that river comes. And now probably just be checking and folding. Oh, wow. And he just gave it to us. Pretty interesting. I guess he figured that we had a lot of ace highs in our range. Before I pause the video, I will look back and we can see his hand and discuss his play. And he had 2 8s, so yeah, we had the right idea with seatbelt on and just call him down. Um, I wouldn't always be calling down. I wouldn't always be calling down pocket 9s on a board like this, but again, this is a very, very special player with some history. Um, but I definitely would be calling 2 barrels and planning on mostly folding to a river bet. But pretty interesting one. All right. We will see you the next time we have a pocket pair. Okay, 2 pocket pairs, table 1 and table 4. Table 4, under the gun opens to a little bit under 3x. We're just going to flat front of the gun plus 1. Not loving it. Table 1, we've got 8s in early middle, and we're going to go ahead and open raise. I say not loving it on table 4 just because a lot of the time we're going to get squeezed, and that's not fun, but we deal with it when it happens. Looks like table 1 we just took it down. I think $4 be like 40 more, so we called 13.55. Yeah, I think we can go ahead and profitably set mine. I think we can go ahead and profitably set mine in position here. It's pretty close, but his range is going to be super strong from the big blind versus an under the gun raise, under the gun plus 1 call. So strong that we can't even really float versus 1 bet. But I do like the fact that when we do flop a set, we are very, very likely to get stacks in and get paid. So, with that said, don't mind set mining, but have to fold now. See you guys at the next pair. Okay, on table 2, there's an early position limp. We will go ahead and isolate to about 4 point something x, whatever, 4.5x. I'm okay limping back pocket pairs after 2 limps. Versus 1 limp, I prefer to just treat it like no limps, which I would always be raising, and I prefer to just go ahead and isolate. 3 ways with Marty in the pot here. I think we're gonna have like such few bluffs on a board like this here on table 2. I think that betting here one time um, is not terrible. It's kind of like turning sixes into a bluff, but um, we're gonna get them to fold a lot of equity and get them to play pretty straightforward against us. I don't think we need to bet big. Maybe 40% pot. Ultimately, I'm trying to get the showdown, but um, we're going to have a few kings in our range that we want to bet, and we're going to be super short on bluffs, so I don't mind using sixes there. All right, on table 2, it's folded to us in the cutoff. We have 2 10s, open to 3x. This will be my standard open in a regular live cash game. I use a 3x sizing from the cutoff and button. We're 200 and change big blinds deep here, and Mart 3 bets us. I really don't want to get it all in pre-flop here, and if I 4 bet and he 5 bets, I definitely don't want to be folding. So I think that's going to lead me to just call here, play position, take a flop, see what happens. So let's start off with that. I prefer to not see an ace on the flop, but that's the way it goes sometimes. I'm going to peel 1 in position versus him, even versus big sizing. There's definitely a lot of hands that he could just 3-bet and then give up with. I don't see him giving up with a ton of them, but I think it's a little bit too tight just to go ahead and fold for 1 bet. Again, this is a super special player. There's definitely a lot of players who I would just fold versus 1 bet for against, but I just don't think we can do it versus him. But we have to fold the turn when he bets like 90% pot. Table 3, we pick up 2 7s. We're gonna open to about 3.5x. And win the blinds. On table 3, we get 2 10s from under the gun plus 1 with 1 limper. Oh, I'm sorry, 1 poster. So we're just going to open to slightly over 4x. Get a call from our friend Mart. And with an ace on the flop, 1 overcard, we have showdown value. We'll start off with the check. Checks through, queen on the turn, still checking, hoping to get to showdown. I'm going to go ahead and just fold a turn here versus Mart. The reason being is he's nuts, and he can definitely have a queen. He can put me in some tough spots. I could have the best hand, but I'm going to end up having to call like a $15 river bet with third pair. Just not a great spot for us. Let him go ahead and have that one. In table 2, we have 2 7s in the small blind. Looks like a short stack limped in. isolation from the cutoff. We have a couple options here. We could re-isolate, um, which I think is going to be the best option. So it looks like he's isolating. I'm going to go ahead and re-isolate to about 4x. I like to size my 3-bets to 4x from out of position. Yeah, and just see what happens. I think we're going to just make a small bet with our whole range here, which I think is fine. It should fold out most of his pairs, even a couple that are bigger than ours, but it's not going to put us in a spot where we're going to be guessing too often. After he calls, I'm just checking, pretty much planning on giving up. He definitely has a lot of aces in his range. I could have checked the flop, but when I check the flop, I feel like I need to check my whole range. Because then I'm pretty much only betting when I have aces and checking everything else. So I'm definitely going to have a whole lot of aces in my range here. So I need to find some other hands to bet. And I think sevens are fine. As played, we'll just go ahead and fold. And down on table 3, we have 2 5s in the hijack. We're going to open raise to 3.5x. In live games, I like to use a sizing of 4x other than the cutoff and button, which I tend to use 3x sizings. Online, size down just a little bit because it seems to be the trend. So I use 3.5x for all the first spots, and then 3x from the cutoff and button. Here with 5s, heads up. I'm just going to go ahead and check and call a bet. Be checking the turn and just trying to get to showdown. And against 2 9s is fine. Oh, 5s on table 2. Open raise to 3.5x from under the gun. Get 3-bet by our buddy Matt. We're going to go ahead and call that 3-bet for sure and hope for the above average flop. And that is not it. It's quite below average. 3-handed, we will not be sticking around to see the turn. Here on table 3, we have 2 queens in the cutoff. Open at 3x. And win the blinds. Table 4, we have 2 deuces on the button. Low jack opens for 3x. Looks like we will most likely be calling. No. Low jack opens for 3x. High jack 3 bets to 3.5 times the open. And in spots like this, it's just too easy for us to end up calling and then it get re-raised and we have to fold anyway. So we're just going to go ahead and fold it. Pretend like we never had it and move on. On table 3, We have two fours. We also just busted our buddy Mart here in a fun hand where we both flopped the flush draw. He turned to pair, and I flopped open end straight flush draw and river the straight. Got him. Calling $1.50. Calling three big blinds from the button with fours. I'd be calling here with all my pairs. Probably three betting jacks plus. Take a flop. Hope for an above average one. Like ace four. No. We tried. We tried really hard. I'm going to go ahead and fold two overcards. I would rather peel here with a hand like ace deuce. Obviously all my eights. But, you know, ace deuce is going to essentially the same hand as two fours, but would have a lot more outs at fours. For fours have two outs, and an ace deuce would have two more deuces, three aces, so five outs. 2.5 times as many outs. So just need to be careful about peeling with pocket pairs. You know, when we don't flop that well, especially in a single raise pot where it doesn't mean much. As we get into more three bet pots, we may have to start peeling more to protect our equity and to not get exploited. But in single raise pots, you don't need to worry about that nearly as much. Here on table 4, we have two nines. There are two limpers. Earlier I talked about it's okay to limp back after two limpers, but nines is too strong to be limping back. So we're just looking to bet our hand here. Get some money in there with what's likely the best hand. Get a little protection from random overcards. No reason to let in some weaker hands with random overcards in there. So we'll go ahead and make it about 5x. 5.5x. Get one call. And pretty interesting flop. You know, could be better, could be worse. If he checks, my plan would just be to check back. I can balance that by checking like ace kings and stuff back. When he bets, we're just going to call. I'm not sure how many jacks he really has in his range. I guess he could have some. Anyway, he checks a turn. I am definitely content with trying to get to showdown. You know, I don't beat sixes, I don't beat sevens, I don't beat eights, I don't beat any of the jacks. So, no reason to be putting more money in there. And we pick up the pot versus an open-end straight draw that rivered a pair. Table 1, we have pocket eights in the big blind. I do a whole lot of calling out of the big blind, so no reason to be looking to 3-bet here. Just going to be calling mostly. Would 3-bet a few of my bigger pairs, but have a very, very wide calling range from the big blind, so it's nice to have some stronger hands like pairs of eights in that calling range. And we flop an overpair on the 6-6 deuce. We're going to go ahead and check to the razor. Start off with a check and a call. Turn is a jack. Jack's a little bit nasty, because he's definitely c-betting hands like 10 jack, jack queen, jack king. On the river, I'm just going to go for a little bit value here. Try to get some value from my ace king type hand, ace queen type hand. Sometimes he's going to have like pocket fives or pocket sevens as well. On table 2, two sixes. Same theory applies. No reason to get too much in there. Just going to call versus Mart. And once again have to put on our seatbelts because Mart is not going to make it cheap in general. With the open-end straight draw, it is going to be tough for us to go anywhere. He checks. Interesting. Pretty good turn for us. Think we can go ahead and check here, being first to act 4 ways. I think it looks super strong when we go ahead and lead out. I do expect it to check through a good bit because It's unlikely they have a 6. It's extremely unlikely anybody would have 6-9. And table 1, pocket 3s. Pretty easy call here for 3 big blinds. And on the river, now we need to go for some value. I think we can just go for half pot or so. Hope to get looked up by a queen. And I think checking the jack 8 is fine here, but checking, probably planning on calling. Oh, finally getting some pocket pairs. Pocket 3s, we will check back. Not too thrilled about this board. 3 ways. It's going to be tough for us to win. Happy to check back, but don't expect to get the showdown too often. And when I do, I don't really expect to win. And pocket 5s. Again, we'll just be calling on the button. And flop 3 overs. Just looking to kind of the same as the 3s from earlier, except that is an above average turn card. I think that with the stacks, fish sticks plays pretty tight. I think I'm going to go for the turn raise here. Fish sticks the original raise? Yeah. Just go for the turn raise. We can still get value from an ace. He could have aces up. He could have straight draw, pair plus straight draws. He could have flush draws. So I wanted to try to get a little bit of money in at that point, because a lot of those hands are just going to check and fold rivers once they miss. So I think turning that set is probably a good way to end this video. I ended up recording for a good bit longer than I imagined. Currently approaching 23 minutes. I was planning on doing about 15 minutes. I kind of kept sitting here waiting to get a big pocket pair, aces or kings, so we can play some like overpair type spots, but the poker gods do not always cooperate, and apparently that's even more so when you're trying to make a YouTube video about it. But such is life. I'm sure next time we will get some big pairs. If you haven't been there before, check out the Hand History Lounge. It's a site that myself and Andrew Nemi, YouTube vlogger extraordinaire, created. He was getting a lot of questions about our chat group and how we study. There's the Pocket King, so we'll get that one in on table 4 here. And about how we study. So we created the Hand History Lounge, which is a place for people to come in, bring their own hand questions to us, and let us review them along with the other members, and tell you how they look. And so far, the feedback has been great. It is a subscription site. It's $40 a month or $400 for the year. You can find out more information about it at www.handhistorylounge.com. Handhistorylounge.com. We flop top set here of kings. I know conventional wisdom, a lot of people like to check back top set. I am not a huge fan of that. I would like to bet a lot of my straight draws that I have here, a lot of my flush draws. It is a 3-bet pot. So I'm just going to go ahead and bet it, because there are definitely some pairs that he's going to peel with. He could have hands like ace, queen, ace, jack of spades. So I'm going to just go ahead and start trying to get some value. Definitely could have sized a little smaller. Didn't need to size full half pot or half pot plus a blind. But I don't think it makes a huge amount of difference in the end. Anyway, check us out. www.handhistorylounge.com. All the information about the lounge is there at that website, as well as some sign-up links. If you like what you see, join us in the lounge. We talk poker every day. Everyone seems to love it, and coming up in December, we will be having our first meetup game for Hand History Lounge members only, where both myself and Andrew Nemi will be playing in the game and talking over some hands from the game, having some fun. Thanks, guys. Take care.